Hey, I'm Chanel, and I realized that my business is losing money. And quite frankly, everything feels just like my hair looks, which is a hot ass mess. But I put together a 90-day game plan to save my brand and business before it crashes and burns, and I'm taking you along the journey with me. So welcome to part 2 of saving my brand before it fails. If you missed part 1, which was a whole mental breakdown in itself, and I'm trying not to let it get to me. It's like every time you make strides, it's just... I'm gonna put that video somewhere up here on the screen so you could check out part 1. But today is all about finding where the money went, because baby, I do not know. So let's get into this vlog. Hey, baby. Which brings me to my favorite part. It is seeing what the heck happened, right? And we are going to do this using the power of data. So you saw me do this in part 1. I took the time to sit down and analyze the data across all platforms to see what the heck was happening with my brand's presence online. That way I could strategize how to fix it. And one of y'all even realized that I strategized very well. So shout out to you. I'm gonna highlight the comment right here. But you realized that I strategized very well. And that is exactly what we need to do for the money, okay? Because if your business isn't making money, is it a business? So let's go behind the screen and let's look at a couple of things. And then we're gonna come up with a game plan. Let's get it. The first thing that I am going to look at is my revenue, obviously. The cool thing about how I run my business is I tend to pull all of my data together in one place, especially when we're talking money. And so I wanted to bring up a quarter from this year where I noticed that we were having an issue, okay? This is the first quarter where I noticed we were having an issue. And as you can see on the screen, it says quarter 1. So what I did was, during a meeting I had with my team, I discussed where we currently were versus our target. So in Q1, which is January to March of 2024, we made $64,799. So right under $65,000 USD, because I know I have some people who watch this in other places. This is good. However, when you consider how expensive it is to run our business, and also when you consider what our goal was, it isn't so good. So we had a very aggressive goal this year that we wanted to meet in terms of revenue. I know that things happen and sometimes we fall short, but that is not good enough reason for me. Like, I don't believe in just saying life is lifing and that's it, right? Because life happens to a lot of people in these big businesses and they continue to run. So I want to make sure that my business is sustainable enough where if life does happen, we still have systems working out for us where we don't take such a heavy hit. So the actual number we made was roughly $65,000. I'm gonna scroll down and I'm gonna show you what the goal was, and you're gonna literally choke. Our goal was actually $247,000, okay? This was our revenue goal right here. $247,000. So we made about 26.3% of our goal. We missed the mark by 75%. That is huge. That is a huge gap. And that is when I first noticed that something may be happening. In quarter 2, it got a little worse because that's when I experienced 2 deaths in my family, one of them being my grandpa who raised me. And that really shook some things up for me. But once again, I want my business to be sustainable, that even when things like that happen, we are still shaking and grooving. The second thing that I want to look at in terms of revenue is going to be our biggest lead generator, which happens to double down as a revenue space for us too. So it was a great place to look, and that place is YouTube. I'm going to take a look at YouTube, our analytics, and I'm going to look at, we can look at current since it's already here. So the last 28 days, or actually let's just do last month. But as you can see, before I switched to last month, my channel right now is getting 55% more views than usual. And if you go back to the first vlog, which was part 1, you would see a big difference in these numbers. But YouTube is telling me, compared to the last 28 days, I have 11.2 thousand more views than usual, 838 more watch hours. I grew almost 200 subscribers more than usual. The money hasn't caught up yet, but honestly, we were down to the point where we were making maybe 500 or 600 a month. So 700 is actually already an increase, but I don't know how YouTube calculates the usuals. It's probably taking an average, but I'm really interested in seeing this number push past 1,000. And I know it's gonna push past 1,000 this month. And I'm super excited to share all of those insights and stuff with you in more than likely part 3, because part 3 we're diving deeper into content. And yeah, then I'm gonna do a results video so that we can, or an update video, not just wait for 90 days. I'm gonna do an update video after a full 30 days has passed. But as you see, this already is improving, but the point is we're looking at the money here. So when you look at the money, let's look at August real fast. August was $656. If I compare that to what our biggest month, or one of our biggest months, I should say, was on YouTube, I'm gonna go back to somewhere here. July or August 2022 was some of like our biggest months. So I'm just gonna do July, so you can see the difference in money. In July of 2022, we made $7,043 from YouTube alone. This is a great indicator of our revenue because YouTube, like I said, is our biggest lead generator. So if we are generating a lot of leads on YouTube, it's typically because our videos are doing very well, it's being received very well, and as a return, YouTube is paying us very well, but on the back end, we're getting paid very well through all the things that we offer within our business. So I love to look at YouTube because YouTube is truly the heartbeat of our business. I didn't give tips last time because I was just distraught. So I'm gonna give a quick little gem here. If you are like me and you're working on saving your business or revamping your brand, when you find out what is causing what, make sure that you have a clear definition of what the heartbeat is, because that can help you sense when things are going wrong before it crashes and burns, okay? So YouTube is our heartbeat. So those are our numbers. I wanna take some quick time to honestly talk a little bit about how not having certain like systems in place is affecting the money. So let me end this screen recording and then we'll talk about that. Probably I'm gonna head downstairs and then we'll talk a little bit more. Let's talk game plan. So I came up with a 3-step game plan as to how I am going to fix my sales. And the first step was to review what I'm doing currently and to find holes. So I needed to identify what I'm doing, or what I was doing, and what I'm not doing, so I can basically see where the gaps are so I can fill them. And the way that I'm going to fill them is by creating a sales system to fix it, right? You're probably like, okay, well, how in the world do you know a sales system is what you need? Well, it's because I don't have one. And so I am lucky enough that I'm a brand strategist, right? And so what's good about brands, when you build a really strong brand, is you can pretty much make money without trying real hard. And this is not to say that I don't want to try hard. I mean, at the end of the day, hustle is in my name, so I am a hard worker. But I say that because what happened earlier this year to me was a lot. And it was a lot for me to bounce back from. And it was after several things, and I ended up getting sick and all this type of stuff. I am lucky and I am blessed that I have built a brand strong enough so I can still make money even when the effort isn't fully there. And that is honestly the benefit of building a strong brand. And that is why I emphasize it so much across this channel. That's why I emphasize it if you join Bomb CEO, which is my membership community. If you join any of my programs, whether it's to help you launch, grow, or scale, brand is emphasized in everything. I teach from a brand-centric perspective because without it, nothing makes sense. Not even when you're trying to connect the dots to sell something, it won't make sense. Can a brand survive on its own? Possibly. But can a business truly thrive without a brand? Absolutely not. So I say that because if I was able to make almost $70,000 from low effort, but a strong brand. Imagine how much more money I would have made if I had a sales system in place. And so once I realized that, and I honestly realized it before this vlog, but once I realized that, I was like, how much money did I lose for real by not having a sales system? And I researched it because I'm a huge data girl. And quite frankly, if you're not a data person, you can ask ChatGPT questions, but you have to feed it right. So I fed ChatGPT some data, and then I asked them what the heck happened. So pretty much they told me because I didn't have a lead generation and conversion system in place, which is a part of a sales system, my leads could have been nurtured more effectively. It could have been more structured. It could have led to better conversions, which would have made us more money. And then also, I also really care about the experience and brand experience, but there's some things that need to be systemized to make sure that we can maintain retention and track retention, so that way we can promote retention even more. And when I say retention, I'm talking about like your customers or your clients returning. Then also use that to upsell. We don't do a lot of that. We don't do a lot of upselling. We don't do a lot of pushing people to bring us referrals. Y'all do it naturally, and I'm blessed for that. So people naturally come to me and say, oh, my friend Sarah told me about this program, or my friend Sarah told me about you, and she told me you helped her with XYZ, so I wanted to come and work with your company. Like literally, it just happens. But if we had a structure and we actually had a system where it was mapped out and we knew what input equals what action to then give us an output, it would be so much better. So I'm missing a sales system, y'all. And so this vlog, what I am going to focus on is building that entire sales system and documenting it for you. The cool thing is, y'all see my living room? So it's not all the way done yet. So pause on the explanation. My living room is not all the way done yet, but I'm gonna give you a mini tour. So this is my living room. Before, it was just an empty kind of space, honestly. Like we had a rug here, but it was old. Our dogs and stuff used to be all over it. And then my mom had gave us these couches, and these couches came with the most hideous pillows. You can't tell because they're actually covered. I think this one is one of them. They're covered in here. The zip is so hidden that I can't even find it. So y'all probably think I'm crazy. You're like, girl, this is a real pillow, but I promise this is not a real pillow. OMG, hold on. Where is the zipper? What the heck? Oh, here it is. So in here, this is what the actual pillows look like. They look like this, and then some of them had white fur with the same gray background. Hideous, okay? So what I did was I actually bought like some pillowcases and stuff to cover it, obviously. But then we decorated. Here's my little grandparents and me. It's kind of dark, but there you go. I bought this lamp and all the things, and I really decorated it to be kind of like this blue, grayish, creamish, lemony vibe. I left these tags on here for a reason because I have a second channel like I talked to y'all about in the first vlog. If you missed it, I'll put it somewhere on the screen. But I want to tell them the price of everything. So I left the tags on there until I tell them the price. And so like we got like the whole, basket, bought this chair. It has yellow pillows on there. I was sitting on it, so it has the green. These are also pillow covers that were covered. This olive tree and this is bought. We then are painting the wall. So it's a lot of different greens on here. We've narrowed it down to between these two. So this one has more of a yellowy tint. This one has a more gray undertone. I'm leaning more towards the gray undertone. I'm not gonna lie to you. So this whole wall would be painted. And then we're hanging this picture up, and we have a light that goes over here. It's a whole vibe, okay? It's a whole vibe, literally. So I don't know why I showed y'all that. Oh, and then this right here is my favorite part. This right here is a word, okay? Remember this. Remember that, all right? So yeah, I even have the wall art there. It's literally a whole vibe. But anyway, let's get back to what I was talking about. So what I was saying is I realized that I need a sales system. I realized that I'm a brand expert, and I'm not in any way a sales system expert, but the benefit of mentorship is I got a mentor who is really good at that and actually makes multi-millions of dollars and helps companies do so as well. So I invested in spending 3 days with my mentor, Donnie, where we sat down and we literally tore the systemization apart to build it anew. And we talked about building sales systems. We talked about other systems in my business that could be improved, or because of how my brand is made up and the things that my brand values, certain systems that we can put in place to make sure that when we hire others, they uphold those things. It was just really, really good. And y'all, we got down to the nitty gritty, and I'm excited because I am gonna show you all of that in this vlog. But first, let's rewind so you can see me working with my mentor to actually come up with the sales system that I'm gonna share with you. So let's get to that footage. I realized that I have been going through this entire workshop and I did not check in with y'all. So, hey, currently on a quick little bathroom break, but if you saw part 1 of this Brand Revamp series, you would have known that I said that I am going to work with one of my mentors to get my sales systems and some of the things on the back end together. And this is actually day 2 of 3 of us working together. And y'all, it's been so good. So I'm actually going to attempt to grab a few clips of what we're working on so that way you can kind of hear and see and all the things. And then once we get back home, I'm gonna continue to work on all of the things with y'all. So, question, Donnie. So what do I do with freebies and stuff? Just
You can use freebies and retargeting ads. You can use freebies and emails. It can be a part of your follow-up sequence in your emails. Like you can use freebies for whatever you want. It doesn't always have to be the same thing.
So after lunch, we pretty much got started with mapping out our lead generation system. And now we have the task of finishing the full map out. So we got to finish mapping out lead to sales to fulfillment and then follow up, which is all within a full process for your marketing and sales, which is super helpful because that is exactly what I needed. A lot of structuring with, like, I find that I can do the right things and I can strategize in campaign brain, but when it comes to building it out to be a full sales system so that you're always asking for the sale and always generating leads and sales and all that stuff, no matter what, this is what's gonna help. So I'm about to get started with that because we actually only have like 20 something minutes, I think, to do it. It's 2:07 and we have until 2:30. So I'm about to get to work. It is currently like 9 something on the same day, and I'm just getting home and winding down, and I'm about to wrap up some homework that I was given today, which is all about creating a sales system, or really creating processes, period, for the back end. But in this video, I wanted to talk specifically about a sales system. So I wanted to review just real quick what I am doing, because I know throughout this process of revamping my brand and really saving my brand from quote unquote failing, I wanted to document it not only just for me and my memories, but also to document it for you too. So if you have a quote unquote failing brand, if you're feeling stuck in your business, so on and so forth, hopefully what I'm doing motivates you and somehow helps you strategize, because I know I learned from seeing people do things. So I wanted to show y'all something real quick. This right here is a part of my 4-staged sale process. So, like I said at the beginning of this video, I realized that there were a lot of holes when it came to how we did sales. Like, branding and marketing are two different things. And the way that I explain branding and marketing is your brand is the experience, it's the nice things that attract people to your business, it's the problem that it solves and how it solves it in a unique way. It's all of the things, right? Versus your business is what's under the hood, is what keeps things running, like your systems. And your marketing is basically what brings people to your business and what sells them in a way, like what gets them through the door. So that way your brand messaging and story and all of that combined with the intentional marketing actions that you do can then actually sell them. I wanted to share just a couple of things that I learned about creating a sales system. When you think of your sales system, you want to think about it in phases. You have a lead generation phase. You have a lead nurturing / conversion phase. For lack of better words, you can say sales, but the overall thing is your sales system. So saying sales is kind of weird. So lead generation, lead nurturing / conversion. You then have your fulfillment stage. And this is where a lot of your brand experience, honestly, needs to ramp up a little bit. And then you have your follow-up or like your closeout phase kind of. So your lead generation phase is how do we get more people to know about you? So that's your brand awareness. That's how do you get people to know about the problem you solve, how you solve it, why you exist, all the things. But then most importantly, how do you get them off of the space where you found them to your own home, if that makes sense? So collecting emails, phone numbers, something. How do you get their data? How do you turn them into somebody who is interested to buy from you? And how do you get points of data that way you can follow up with them, right? So figuring that out, that's your lead generation. That's your content. That's if you're doing any ads, anything like that, billboards, speaking at events, even like thinking about all that stuff, that could be lead generation for you. And so once you get their data, because they're interested in taking the next stage with you, the next step with you, you want to then take them through lead nurturing, like basically nurturing them to conversion. So what that looks like, and technically getting their data is conversion, but that's like a whole nother topic for another day. But nurturing them to a paid conversion, right? And so as you nurture them to whatever that core conversion is, you can do a series of things. You can warm them up via emails. You can have a sales like call. You can have, a particular thing shown to them at a certain time with a timer. Like there's a whole bunch of stuff that you can do. And then after that, you then get into your fulfillment stage, which is you actually fulfilling on the product or the service and what that stage looks like for you. Because technically it is a part of sales. You can upsell at this point. You can also build a certain reputation. So that way, once they're done with the product or service, you can then potentially build loyalty with them. Then you have your follow-up stage, which is where you want to make sure that they enjoyed everything. Did they enjoy your product? Did they enjoy your service? Did they enjoy your program? Did they enjoy everything? If they didn't, how can you fix it? If they did, can they refer you? And then that's where your referral system comes up. That's where you can put them into even a point loyalty system. So that way you can generate some repeat customers there. You can potentially even do both, where you get them to come back and you also get them to talk to people about your business and they refer people to your business and they get some type of reward, whether it's a discount, whether it's points that lead up to something for free, whether it's a percentage of the sale. Like you can decide what that looks like. But all of that is within your sales system, because what you don't realize is the leads need to go somewhere. The leads then need to be converted. The converted leads are now, they need to be treated well so that way they can then on the back end bring more leads to your business through word of mouth and stuff like that, and reviews and all of that. So that's that. This is only a part of mine. This is a fraction of my lead nurturing segment, and this is only for one style of products that I offer, right? So for me, I have two different businesses, so I have to do this separately. But then within my main business, we have programs. Then we also have kind of like, you can call these digital products in a way, because they're like packaged mini classes or whatnot. And so we have to do this for those types of offers, we also want to do a holistic sales system for the entire company to see how things work together. And, you know, people go from A to B to C. They go through this sales system with product A. Now it's time to go to product B. And that's basically like a ladder of products or a ladder of offers. But that's it for me tonight, y'all. I'm about to go finish my homework because I actually have to be there to meet with my mentor at 9 a.m. tomorrow. So we will chat. I will take you with me tomorrow, and then I will close out with some more findings and actionable steps that you can take. So see you tomorrow. Good night. All right, y'all. So I have wrapped up the final day of the workshop. So I was here for 3 days working on things. And honestly, today was kind of an early day. And I was like 15 minutes behind. So I didn't get time to grab or capture anything, but what I did capture I've already put in there. But I am going to do kind of like a recap once I get home of the main takeaways and how I'm going to implement them to improve my sales system so that we don't continue to lose money because of the holes and stuff that are there. So stay tuned for that. But my husband is actually outside right now, so I don't intend on people being able to join this live, but I wanted to record it as a live because I know it sends a notification to everyone. So that way, when you see this notification, even if it is the replay, you're able to watch it. Throughout all that, one of the recurring themes for me as we talked throughout this weekend and as we mapped out what my scale plan looks like and we built out literally I'm building out a sales machine, and I can't wait to share it with y'all. But as I was going through that, Donnie had given us particular milestones, if you would, to basically notate what stage of business we were in. I'm gonna share these stages of business with you, and then I'm gonna tell you which stage I'm in and what the question that kept popping up in my head on Friday, on Saturday, and today was, and how I basically outlined the full answer to this question. And trust me when I say this is a question that you're having, and this is something that is hurting you. It's hurting your growth. It's hurting your ability to show up. It's making you overwhelmed. It's doing all the things, and it's making you take steps back from the actual goal, right? And so when you hear the question, trust me, you're going to get it. But first, I want to share the 5 stages of business with you, right? So you can see that here. The 5 stages of business is you have the startup stage. This is when you're less than a year old or you don't have a lot of operating costs on hand. This is where your business and your brand is in the infancy stage, right? Whereas when you move to the perseverance stage, this is where you start thinking about scaling, but you may not be ready. You should have $60,000 to $100,000 in operating costs saved before you can move to stage number 3, right? And so during this stage, you face some challenges such as steady growth and overcoming obstacles, maintaining cash flow, all the things. Then you have stage number 3, which is viability. This is when you've reached a revenue of $1 to $3 million. And this is when you shift to making a business model that's sustainable, profitable, and basically repeatable, right? This is also where you start to step into your founder and CEO role. You start to free up your time more, so on and so forth. Then stage 4 is the scaling stage where you've hit over $3 million. And then you have stage 5, which is the succession stage, which is pretty much you're making anywhere over $3 million and you're setting your business up to sell. What I'm doing today is I'm mapping out my ascension ladder. I had already started creating my sales outline, kind of like my sales process flow, but I needed to get more clear on my ascension ladder. And although I have what's called an offer stack, I didn't necessarily outline the exact progression because I have sometimes one-time offers and I needed to figure out where they fall within the ascension ladder, which as a result, I'm able to make that decision from knowing what my customer journey looks like. So it all ties back to brand. Like I was telling y'all yesterday, it's a new day. I got on the same shirt, but whatever. Everything really ties back to your brand. So your customer journey is pretty much where you guide your consumer from when they first interact with you all the way through delighting them, which is post-purchase. And your customer journey is a way for you to monitor their emotions, monitor their thoughts, and also to make sure that you're taking the right actions with your brand to keep them happy, satisfied, or to counteract negative thoughts, so on and so forth. And then from there, that's where your sales funnel comes in. So your sales funnel is separate from your customer journey, but your sales funnel is basically the marketing actions in a way that you're going to take in order to make sure that you get this lead closer and closer to a conversion, or you get them to convert over and over again. It's a whole bunch of mumbo jumbo when I say it really quick like that. But as I was going through all of this and looking at all of my notes and stuff, y'all, and doing all this brainstorming, I literally took a week off from everything. I took a week off of everything. In addition to the 3 days I just spent with Donnie, I took a week off this week to really nail down and get this down pat. And you saw earlier in this vlog how some of the changes that I've already made have been improving my YouTube channel, the amount of views we're getting, our subscribers are up, our revenue is going up, our videos are performing well, and I'm about to translate exactly what I did on YouTube for the past few weeks to Instagram, and that's gonna do really well. And this is all back-end stuff that I am connecting the dots so that way our money goes up on the back end, because that's the point of today's vlog. And as I was mapping that out, I realized how much work this can be for somebody who isn't really knowledgeable on the brand side of things, who isn't really knowledgeable, or isn't, your forte is not being strategic. Your forte is creating your product, whether it's a physical or a digital product, creating that product, that ebook, maybe even that program, creating that, skin care line, creating that hair care line. That's your expertise, right? And that's cool, because I believe that everybody wears a different crown. And so I thought to myself, why do I not have a workshop on this? So I'm already seeing great results, and I already have planned and am going to do a 30-day update, possibly a 60 and 90-day update as well. Definitely a 90-day update. But then I thought to myself, why don't you have a workshop where you can teach what the foundations of a brand is, and then also how to revamp your brand and reconnect certain things within your brand and business, so that way you can get unstuck and unlock your next level of growth, whether that be growth in engagement, in your email list, text list, revenue, all the things that I'm working on and I'm documenting here. So let me know down below if you think that would be a great idea. I even thought about putting together a quick little cheat sheet of what I am doing to find what's wrong and to then correct it. And I plan on sharing that in the workshop as well. So you let me know down below, is that something that you would want to be a part of? And if so, then I'll put it together. So let me know down below, leave a comment, and I'll do that. Now let me get back to this. Because you watched this vlog so far, I'm going to give you a little insight on how you can create this within your business. Now, full transparency, this is the ascension ladder for my main business, which offers programs, coaching, and also events and things like that. This is not for my product-based business. This is not for Hustle Babe University. I'm actually going to create Hustle Babe University's own separately, but I wanted to focus on one business at one time and then do it. But honestly, this is the blueprint to any business. It does not matter. So what your ascension ladder is, like I said, it's how people are basically progressing through the journey with your company. And so for my main journey, it takes from a freebie to a low ticket to a mid ticket offer to a high ticket offer. Then if you're lucky, you get an invite only to one of my exclusive events and things like that. And then down here, you're able to be invited to other general events, right? But the main point is to guide them basically in an ascending way to spend more and more with your business. And the way that you do that is through what it is that you're putting out there in your brand messaging, how it is that you are taking them through your automated email campaigns, so on and so forth, which is a whole lot of brand stuff that you got to nail. To me, that stuff is easy. What was not even difficult. What I needed to do, or what I was skipping, was actually outlining the sales steps, right? Which I talked a little bit about earlier in this vlog. But anyway, in the Ascension Ladder, it's important for you to create an Ascension Ladder for each persona within your business. And each persona has its own customer journey, believe it or not. So for my main business, I have 3 personas, right? They actually are named 3 different people. And so I have 3 personas. So what a persona is, it's pretty much, you have your target audience, but then out of the group of people who you target, if you were to pull one person out of that group, who is that person? What's his or her name? What's his or her age? Their occupation? How much do they make? What do they enjoy? Their behaviors, their deep thoughts, all of that. I have all of this mapped out for each of my personas, and I actually will teach you how to do this within that workshop, which actually, now that I think about it, I'm gonna call it a boot camp. I'm gonna call it a brand boot camp, because honestly, all the things that I want to share with you are going to be done in a boot campish way, because I'm helping y'all whip y'all brands into shape. And quite frankly, it's gonna be more than one day. It definitely needs to be at least 2 days. So if you're down for an intensive 2 days with me, I think hanging out with my mentor kind of inspired me. But hanging out with me for 2 days, I did a workshop like this in the past with target audience, the paid and profitable target audience workshop, and everyone loved it. This time, we're getting into the nitty-gritty of your brand, and we are talking everything that you need to know to create better content, to make better sales, to delight your customers and create really good experiences, so that way you're known for something and your customers want to refer you and they want to come back and all that stuff. And if you're at the very beginning stages, this is important for you to outline before you start and then get stuck, and then you end up wasting money or losing out on thousands, and probably at this point hundreds of thousands like I have this year. So definitely something that you want to check out. If at the time of this vlog it's already opened, I'll leave the link in the description. If not, just check the link in the description just in case there's a wait list or something like that. But anyway, so going back to this, after that, you then want to notate the consumption time. So how long will it take somebody to consume your product, right? What is that average time frame? And then what's your ideal progression for them? So the consumption time is pretty much the realistic factor. If it's taking people 6 months to get done with one of your products, but you ideally want them to be done with it within 4 months, write that down, because then there's something that we can do on the back end, whether it's through email, text, any other touch points that we can do to help push them to consume the content faster or consume the product faster, right? Then your customer spend at each level. So you want to notate, okay, within all the products that you have within your Ascension Ladder, for me, I categorize them as low, mid, high, which in each of these products, what's the price point? And so what's the customer spend as they continue to progress through this ladder? Like, so technically, let's say low was $10, mid was $50, high was $100. As they progress from low to mid, they technically have just spent $10, $50. Now here, they're at $60. Here, they'd be at $160 if they progress through all of these. That's what the customer spend is. Then you want to talk about conversion rate. So naturally, everybody isn't going to stick with you as they go through your journey. People are going to fall off, and that's okay. But you need to know the conversion rate from point A to point B. And that's something that you can notate when you're mapping out your customer journey and then just transfer here. So then you have key touch points and actions, which are something that's outlined on your customer journey as well. But honestly, this is just so much information. I feel like this vlog is information overload, but like I said in the first vlog, it's a lot of talking in these vlogs because it's a lot of brainstorming, it's a lot of strategizing, it's a lot of mapping things out and implementing, because I take action. It's in my name, the Brand Hustler. I'm really serious. Once I strategize something, I'm going to do it. So I don't know when I'm going to record the third part of this vlog, but the third part of this vlog, I'm going to be focused on content strategy. And in that vlog, I'm going to show you how much I've done so far of this. So the first time we basically game planned everything and talked about what I'm going to start doing. And in that game plan, I told you that I was going to do 7 things, right? And I shared those 7 things with you throughout the vlog last time. But I told you that I was going to use HBU as a case study, which I have started doing. I told you I was going to tap into creativity with my new channel and also with new creative campaigns. I've already had a photo shoot that was more creative, and my new channel, Chanel Kiana, if you're subscribed to it, thank you so much for subscribing. I really appreciate it. If you're not and you want to check it out, it is a channel that's dedicated to my new life as a new wife who's elevating herself. So if you want to check that out, it's all about luxury travel, home decor, self-improvement, things that people don't really tell you before wifehood, all that type of stuff. And I actually already posted my first video, and I posted 2 shorts over there. Then the email cleanup is being done. It's almost done. Systems and automations. This is a part of the systems that I need to map out. And then I talked about content bulking, batching, and banking. I started doing that for YouTube already, which you've already seen YouTube content flowing out more consistently now. And we're gonna do that for Instagram. And then like the rest of it is about content. Oh, and realigning my actions with my brand's PMVs. That I already started doing. And you saw the improvement that I showed you at the beginning. And we're gonna continue to go up, okay? And so if you are working alongside me in these vlogs, let me know in the comment section. Let me know like if this type of vlog is helpful for you. If you want me to do part 3, which is my content strategizing, I'll try to put more scenic things in that vlog, because quite frankly, I feel like this vlog turned into a masterclass, and I'm so sorry. I am so sorry. But if you're watching this and you found a lot of help, a lot of value, a lot of gems, comment down below the word gems to let me know that you enjoyed this, so I know that it didn't just go in vain. I do appreciate you for stugging it out with me. And before I close out, let's have a real talk about money real quick. One thing that entrepreneurs fail to tell you is that you will lose money, right? You won't always make money. And there's also a level of discipline that you need to have, a level of structure that you need to have, and a level of organization that you need to have to make sure that you are consistently making money and consistently managing your money in the right way. And y'all, just heart to heart, real talk right here. It can be hard. It can be hard. I've had people stealing hours from me, which is technically stealing money from the company. I've had it where you saw we set these ambitious goals and then sometimes we fall short from them. And it doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good to know that your business is losing money. It doesn't feel good to know that you're putting all of this energy and this effort into something that seems as if it's like a deflating balloon, right? But the key to succeeding as an entrepreneur and the key to any successful company is the art of persistence. It is the ability to keep going even when you feel like giving up. It's the ability to keep going even when odds are stacked against you. And it's honestly a mindset thing and how you frame your mind to look at certain things. Can you turn a negative into a learning opportunity? Can you then turn that learning opportunity into a lesson that you actually apply and you see some results from? That is what I believe I am learning, right? From the minute I turned 30 in November. From the moment I turned 30, when I tell you that God has taken me on a whirlwind in terms of mental strength, spiritual strength, physical strength, and now financial strength, I'm like, Jesus, can I have a break? And he said, nah, you can't have a break because you asked to be a certain individual with a certain level of strength and with a certain level of success. And I have to take you through these trials and tribulations so you can notice what it is that you're doing wrong. Because if you can be missing crucial steps at this level, what would have happened if I took you to the multi-millionaire level, or if I took you to the optimal body physique or whatever level? You would have crashed and burned because you wouldn't have been taking care of yourself. You wouldn't have been taking care of your finances. You wouldn't have been taking care of your business as you should be. And what I'm about now, which is losing what in Q1, we didn't make our $200,000 goal. So we fell short about $150,000 maybe. What you're crying about now, that would have been you crying about being short $1 million if I would have took you all the way there right now. So that was definitely a realistic check for me. And I just wanted to sit down and have this talk with you so you can have this realistic check with yourself and ask yourself, are you actually the person right now that you're asking God to deliver certain blessings to? And if not, please take heed to the lessons that he's showing you in your day-to-day. These tests are not on accident. These tests are meant for you to learn lessons and apply what it is that he is trying to show you, so he can turn you into the strongest, most successful version of yourself. On that note, if you're not subscribed, hit the subscription button and make sure that you hit the notification bell, and stay tuned for part number 3 of revamping my brand before it fails, because we're saving this bad boy, okay? See you in the next one. Bye.